that determination?
Well, I can explain what happens in municipal court, which is the filed on and court date is probably 2 to 3 months later. And they appear in court, they enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. They enter a plea of guilty unless we've already been out to look at property beforehand. I'm talking about before the court appearance. We put the sentencing part 2 weeks later so we can go inspect the property, see if they've made any progress. And so from the time they get the citation, it's usually at least 2 months before they appear in court. And that's true on any citation. That's true on a speeding ticket or anything else.
All right, well, it seems like it's done a lot longer period of time on these. I've got one on North
These
Jackson
others,
and right
some
north to
of
south.
these have been a long time to try to get them cleaned up before we started the push for taking them to court. But we started the push taking them to court within the last couple of months. Matter of fact, we had probably 20 in court yesterday.
That's good. Well, thank you for your time, but mine is you need some form of billing that people that can have the hammer, and that's the city or the COGW. And that's just my opinion of the day, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Keith Westerfield. I live in Ward 3. I'm street commissioner. I've been sitting here listening to all this. I've been hearing about it for a while. I just had a couple of things to throw out there. One thing was mentioned about having it put on the utility bill for large items, and then people come around once a month or once a week or whatever and pick it up. You got a lot of elderly people that are on fixed incomes that are not going to have a large item probably a year that you're going to be charging for this pickup that might not be real good. But I'm not really sure what problem we're trying to fix. I've heard large items out at the curb. I've heard people trashing their yard. But I'm going to tell you one of the biggest problems we've got in the city of Kennett is trash all over Kennett. And it's not coming from trash dumpsters in the yard or whatever. It's come from people throwing it out of their cars. I've worked for the city for 35 years. I've seen people pull up to stop signs and throw a Sonic bag out the window and it just scatter and go everywhere with food, french fries, and everything. I've been at my warehouse when I've had people go by and throw beer bottles over the fence and almost hit me standing out there. I've seen them driving down the road and just throw it out the window, a lot. That's, I would say, where 50% of the trash in Kennett's coming from, people throwing it out of their vehicles. That and a lot of coming from dumpsters that don't have lids on them. When the wind blows and they fill those dumpsters up, that just blows all over town. I have so many cups, and paper bags and everything on my warehouse. I live a block south of Huck's, and I pick them up all the time. But the large item thing was one of the things you're not going to have everybody in town not going to have large items very often. I don't think it'd be very fair to put that on a utility bill and then have to pay that when they don't have one. And another thing, as far as charging, I know the mosquito spray is charged by meters. I would hope that the trash thing, if the city does this, they wouldn't charge by meters. They would come up with a different plan or take it on a case-by-case basis. I have a warehouse and a residence. I have absolutely no trash in my warehouse. I have about a bag every 2 or 3 years I take and put in my trash at the house. And so something like that, I'd like to see something worked out where you didn't have to pay by meter on something like that.
It's definitely an option because, you know, some houses have a garage more than 6 feet away, so they've got 2 meters on their property. So, yeah, definitely a case by case, you know, for that location, you know, you've got.
Mine's strictly storage, so I'm not up there hardly ever anyway, so thank y'all.
Yep.
Thanks, Riley.
Cook, excuse me, Riley Cook, Ward 5. I've been kind of just listening to everybody and the ideas that they've thrown out there. For the council, I am strictly just talking residential. No big items, nothing like that. I'm currently a landlord with about 98 doors. I feel like I speak for 3 or 4 other landlords that cover about 400 other doors. What Mr. Wheeler was talking about, things hiding, you know, the tenants getting stuff and putting it in the shed and doing stuff like that. I feel like this could solve some of it. I understand that people have more than one can. They could have more than 1 can's worth of trash. I currently have 2 cans at my house, but if I'm billed for 1 with the city, I think everybody should be billed with 1 for the city. If I need another can, I can go to Mr. Wheeler or whoever it is and pay for another can out of my own pocket. Some of the fines, or I'm sorry, as far as some of these other communities, I cannot see a municipal trash pickup being a bad thing. I can't see it generating more trash. If we get 50% of the trash out there that's laying in the street, if we get that picked up, we've done good. It may not look like we've done just a whole lot, but we know that we have because we're generating more cans and more pickup. When we build this, I understand that would get a bid from the trash companies, but also put a 50-cent charge or a $1 charge per can, generate some income for the city. I don't see that being an issue at all. I think that would be a great way to help generate income for the city. As far as, like I said, going about the big items, me as a landlord, I can take care of the big items. You know, I've got guys I can call. If we do this once a year, trash pick or the citywide cleanup like we have been, where we can put large items out. Maybe that's the time that the tenants look at it and say, okay, now I can get rid of this couch. I don't have to put it behind the house. I can go get rid of it now. Putting it on the utility bill, it's just like the gentleman spoke earlier about the mosquito charge or anything else. Let's throw it on the utility bill. It's not an option. Everybody needs trash. And if you can explain to me why you don't need a trash can, I would gladly listen to it. How are you living all month long, all year long, and have 0 trash pickup? And it was mentioned about, well, if I come in and say my bill's $150 and I come in and I pay $100 just so my trash doesn't get, or my utilities doesn't get turned off. Well, I can do that. Any of us can do that now. Go in and pay part of your electric bill, show a good faith, you know, so they don't shut the electricity off. But have it a set amount. The city's got to, or the city, Light, Gas, and Water's got to have a set amount. Once the tenant gets so far behind, I don't care if they're coming in and paying $50 a month or not, we're shutting them off. So, and I know it was brought up last month, Mr. McVeigh said we can't shut utilities off for trash. I'm not saying we shut it off for trash. I'm saying we shut it off for a high bill. Regardless of what that is, I can keep paying, I can pay my $300 electric bill, but not pay that $2 mosquito charge, and it's going to add up to the point that they're going to shut my electricity off for an unpaid bill. The fines, if we put that, Mr. McVeigh was talking about it, it can take 2 months before we ever go to court, and then it can take another 2 weeks. And if we put this fine on the utility bill, is the utility company going to let it go 2 months? So
You can't put the fine on the utility.
The fine cannot go to the utility?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if it could be
No, that'd be nice.
like a late charge on my utility bill.
That'd be nice.
Yes, it would. Because I know this was brought up last month as well. The landlord's getting the fine letter, you know, for them to pick up trash. That just needs to go to the tenant. But I really think this could solve at least some of that problem, because now what's your excuse? You have a can, it's paid for, use it. And the gentleman, he was just talking about the meters. You know, I've got 2 meters in my house, but I only have 1 electric bill. So that would be one way to not charge double,
Yeah,
you know, based on meters, just based on,
front doors.
yep, and the person that has the, you know, my residence, 2 meters, but I only get 1 electric bill.
If you only pay one mosquito charge?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so this can be set up the same way as the mosquito charge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the idea that, I believe it was Mr. Swain had about the locking in the building. Somebody had the idea of locking in the building for an X amount of time. Then, I mean, then if you're not picking up the trash, as far as the trash companies, if you're not picking up the trash, then you get the boot just like anybody else would, not doing their job. So I love only locking it in for a set period of time and then rebidding it. Maybe that person sees that they can actually go down and still make more money. And I also think that this would generate income for the trash service, because I believe it was mentioned that maybe 20–25% of the city does not have service. So if you're bidding at $15, you can actually bid lower because you know you're going to generate 25% more on the cans that are going to be going out.
So your question also have it where you're not doing the billing. You know, 60 cents every time you put that
Generating
bill
more tonnage.
into the mail.
Yeah, but the other side of that is there's more gas, there's more
Tonnage,
dump, there's more employees, I mean, it's gonna wash.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.